Namaste to all the students. Myself JV and Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we will discuss about history of plant biotechnology. So basically, what is history of what is plant biotechnology? First of all, we have to know about the plant biotechnology. So plant biotechnology is a stream where you can manipulate the information on the basis of genetic material in the plant, and it consists majorly plant genetic engineering, plant recombinant DNA technology, and plant tissue culture as well. The major portion is covered by the plant tissue culture technique, and basically this technique aim to conserve the threatened plant species which are important at the point of medicinal perspective. So, and second thing, it can enhance the secondary metabolite of phytochemicals which are important for medicine purpose. This technique can enhance that secondary metabolite on the artificial prospect. So, plant biotechnology is founded on the principle of cellular totipotency and genetic transformation, as I told you. Traced back to the cell theory of Sheldon and Schwann, discovery of the genetic transformation in bacteria was given by the Frederick Griffith in 1833. 1983, three independent groups described Agrobacterium tumefaciens mediated gene transformation leading to the production of normal fertile transgenic plants. As I told you in the previous introduction, that plant biotechnology aim to develop or aim to manipulate the plants on the basis of genetic level, and this is the technique where uh, we can change the genetic information in the plant through the Agrobacterium tumefaciens mediated genetic transformation. Introduce a bacterial antibiotic resistance gene into the tobacco was done. Now come to the objective of the plant tissue culture. So scientists believe that the new technology would allow introduction of agronomically important genes into crop species that are susceptible to agrobacterial infections. First of all, we will discuss about the cell theory which was given by the Sheldon and Schwann. So Sheldon in 1838, every plant and animal is an aggregate of fully individualized, independent and separate beings, that is cell. Sheldon gave this definition. Then Schwann in 1839 given a definition that some of these elementary parts like cells which do not differ from other are capable of being separated from the organism and continuing to grow independently. So Schwann given a theory that cell can grow independently, it can be separated from the whole organism or it can grow independently. In the cell theory, all living things are composed of cells. Cells are the basic unit of the structure and function in living things. Cell arises from pre-existing cells. In 1858, Virchow given a definition that where a cell arises, there must have been a cell before. Even as an animal can come from nothing but an animal, a plant from nothing but a plant, nor can any developed tissue be traced back to anything but a cell. Now come to the revival of cell theory. So interested in the cell theory was revived in 1858 by the famous efforts of Ludwig Karl Virchow. He gave omnis cellula a cellula. All cells arises from the cell. He determined that diseased cells always arose from healthy cells and rejected the prevailing view of spontaneous generation. Hermann Wojcik in 1878 attempted to demonstrate totipotency experimentally by dissecting and growing smaller and smaller fragments of the plant tissue. Now come to the totipotency. It was given by the Gottlieb Haberlin. And what is totipotency? So totipotency is the ability of a single cell to divide and produce all the differentiated cells in an organism, including extra embryonic tissues. Totipotency of the plant cell, Goblet Haberlin was the first to try to obtain experimental evidence of totipotency by culturing plant cells in nutrient solutions in hope of generating whole plants. What was the Haberlin, Gottlieb Haberlin experiment? He cultured chloroplast containing differentiated cells from the leaves of Labium purpurinum knob solution in hanging drop cultures. Results were given like the cell grew in size but did not undergo any cell divisions. Eventually, the culture were lost to infection. He failed largely because of his unfortunate choice of experimental material and because of inadequacy of nutrition provided by the Knox salt solution. Predictions made by Gottlieb Hepperland, he advocated the use of embryo sac fluid and inducing cell divisions in vegetative cells. Now come to the discovery of plant growth substances. Charles Darwin in 1880 was one of the first to observe and describe the curvature of seedling towards the light. Effect could be prevented by covering the tip of the petal and the hormone later be identified as naturally occurring auxin in IAA. Now come to the auxin. What are the auxins? Basically, it is a growth hormone which is present in plant naturally, and in the plant tissue culture technique, it can be given artificially in the tissue culture media. Auxins are a class of plant growth substances. Auxins play an essential role in coordination of many growth and behavioral processes in the plant life cycle. What are the cytokinins? So, in addition to auxin, another compound is cytokinin. It is also a growth hormone having profound impact on the culture of isolated plant cells. They were discovered by the Falk Skoog and his colleagues at the University of Wisconsin. Now come to the genetic transformation. What is genetic transformation? A process by which the genetic material carried by an individual cell is altered by the incorporation of foreign DNA into its genome. Genetic transformation was discovered by chance, not by design, by Frederick Griffith in 1928. He was trying to develop a vaccine for prevention of pneumonia epidemic. Frederick Griffith experiment was organism used was Streptococcus pneumoniae. He used two different strains, R strain rough type and S strain smooth type. In the Griffith experiment, he injected mice with R strain and S strain. The mice injected with the S strain developed pneumonia and died after few days, while those infected with the R strain remained healthy. Mice injected with a mixture of inactivated S strain and normal R strain developed pneumonia. In the Griffith results, he postulated that some unknown transforming principle from the inactivated S strain had converted the non-capsulated non-virulent R strain into encapsulated and virulent S strain. Purpose of genetic transformation to improve the quality of the crops and to improve the productivity of the crops in order to meet increasing demands of food. So this is the sum up of this session, and this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.